Well, the ink project grew out of a question that I couldn't answer in one of my book history classes. And I went down to the special collections librarian and said, I know the best book on typography, the book on printing presses, best book on paper. What's the book on ink? And she said, there isn't one. And I thought, great, I'll write one. I'd been working in the British Library, and sifting through her correspondence, I found myself holding Virginia Woolf's suicide note. There was something about holding the actual thing, reading that ink, and then turning it over and finding Leonard Woolf's green ink, where he'd noted the date. And I realized that the ink testifies to a body in a particular place at a particular time, and it's a one-off. It's not something we duplicate like an email. As I was working on the book, my editor said, well, what's the big idea? And I said, I don't have a big idea. I don't know how you're going to market this. I'm just interested in all this stuff. And then I realized that the big idea was outside and is kind of implicit, and that is that as we move into the digital age, what everybody is fearful of is losing memory. And that for my parents' generation, what they feared was cancer. What my generation fears is Alzheimer's. And anybody who's faced the blue screen of death, which is practically everyone, watched a hard drive go south, family pictures dissolve, we're facing a kind of cultural Alzheimer's. The early 21st century might turn out to be a black hole for information. We have all this stuff, but we really don't know how to preserve it. And I think the thing about ink, you can't put everything down, but like the gallnut ink that I made, it'll endure for 500 years if you don't lose it or burn it, but it's not going to mysteriously degrade like our phones and hard drives are doing as we speak. I found some of my students who were most interested in ink and the materialities of text were those in digital humanities programs. And one woman said to me, I work all day in a lab doing web design, and so I go home at night and I type on my dad's Underwood 5 because I want something tactile. The digital builds a hunger for the actual. As children, we first encounter the world through touch. That's how we come at and make sense of the world. And I think in a way that never leaves us. And as scholars, to rediscover the sense of touch, the materiality of things, the heft of a book, the feel of the page, but even the feel of the ink is something that gives you a different sense of how books, and in fact how history, how our culture is produced.